Hi, 7th graders. We are on lesson 2.5, adding and subtracting fractions with like denominators, also referred to as like fractions, which is one of your vocab words, so you could take out your vocab sheet and write down the definition in a second as I go over it. So, to add or subtract like fractions, so like fractions have the same denominator. So these are like fractions because they both have 8 in the denominator. Even though this is a negative, they're still like fractions. Here they both have a 5 in the denominator, so they're like fractions. So to add or subtract them, it's pretty simple. They already have the same denominator, so we just add or subtract the numerators, and then we write the result over the denominator. So if we have 5/8 plus negative 7/8, well, we keep the denominator, so we know it's going to be over 8, and then I have 5 plus negative 7, because our negative sign goes with our numerator. So 5 plus negative 7 is negative 2. So we have negative 2/8, and then we always simplify. So I know that 2 and 8 can both be divided by 2. So negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4, so we have negative 1/4. Okay, negative 4/5 minus 3/5. So I keep the denominator, and then I have negative 4 minus 3. Well, I can do chop minus, so I have negative 4 plus negative 3, and I have negative 7. So now I have negative 7/5. I can simplify that. I know this is an improper fraction because my numerator is greater than my denominator, even though it's a negative 7, but for now we just look at it as 7/5. I know that 5 goes into 7 once, and then there's 2 left over because if there's 1 5, then I go 2 more to get to 7. So I have 1 and 2/5. And then we make it negative. So negative 1 and 2/5 is the answer to that. Okay, so how do we add or subtract mixed numbers? Well, the same way. So we add our whole numbers first. So 5 plus 8 is 13. Oops. And then 7 plus 4 is 11. So we have 13 and 11/9. But mixed numbers can never have an improper fraction as the fraction. So you have a whole number and it needs to be a proper fraction, not improper. So what I'm going to do is up here, I'm going to convert 11/9 into a mixed number. So I know that 9 goes into 11 once, and then I have 2 left over, because if there's just 1 9, then I know 2 more is to 11, so we have 1 and 2/9. So I'm going to cross off my 11/9. So I have 13 and, or plus 1 and 2/9. So then my final answer is going to be 14 and 2/9. Okay, if we have 8 minus 6 and 2/9, there's 2 different ways that you could solve this, okay? So if I take 8 minus 6, I would have 2, but then I still need to take away 2/9, which kind of makes it a little bit confusing. So what I'm going to do to make it so we have like terms, I'm going to take away a whole number. So 8 minus 1, I'm going to take 1 away. So I have 7. And then I'm going to make my fraction here, even though I just said you can't have improper fractions. But I'm going to make it 7 and 9/9, because 9/9 is 1. 7 plus 1 is 8. So 7 and 9/9 is the same as 8. This is just written way cleaner and way nicer. minus 6 and 2/9. Now we can subtract. So we subtract our whole numbers. 7 minus 6 is 1, and then 9 minus 2 is 7. So I have 1 and 7/9. Okay, if you think about this in your head, if you take 8 minus 6 and you have 2, and then you subtract 2/9 away from that, so you're going towards 0, so less than 2. If you're taking 2/9 away, you would end up with 1 and 7/9. Okay? Another way that you can do this, if this is a little bit confusing to you, I can change 8. So remember, 8 is the same as 8 over 1. I can change it into 9ths. And to do that, I can multiply both the numerator and the denominator by 9. And I would get 72/9. And then I would rewrite my equation. So 72/9, horrible 9, that is a 9, minus, oops, not 6 and 2/9, I forgot. We need to convert this to an improper fraction as well. So 9 times 6 is 54, plus 2 is 56. So 72/9 minus 56/9. I keep my denominator as 9. 72 minus 56 is, 72 minus 10 is 62, and then I subtract 8 more, so 72 minus 56 is 18, not 18, 16, is it? Yeah, 16/9, and then I know that 9 goes into 16 once, and I have 7 left over, so it'd be 1 and 7/9. So a couple different ways you can pick which way you like better. This seems like a little bit more work, but it's also a little bit less confusing. So if we have 6 minus 4 and 2/3, pause me and try it on your own with whichever method you like or whichever method you want to do. So I'm going to do it as method 1. So if I change 6 to 5 and this time 3/3, because we're going to keep it as the denominator of the other fraction, and then minus 4 and 2/3. We have 5 minus 4 is 1, 3 minus 2 is 1. Keep the denominator, so we have 1 and 1/3. Okay, horses are measured by a unit called a handbreadth or hand. How much taller is a horse that is 14 and 1/4 hands tall than one that is 12 and 3/4 hands tall? Okay, so we want to find the difference between 14 and 1/4 minus 12 and 3/4. So I can see that I can take away 14 minus 12, but then looking ahead, I can't do 1 minus 3. We're gonna have a positive whole number, but a negative fraction, which is not going to work out very well. So what I want to do, very similar to our method 1 over here, is I want to take away a whole number and add it here. So if I take away 1 whole from 14, I have 13, but then really taking away a whole and keeping it with fourths, I'm taking away 4/4, and I'm adding it to here. So 1/4 plus 4/4 is 5/4. Okay, because this is a little bit confusing, but I took one away and I got 13, but I'm not just going to take it away, I have to add it over here. So I'm taking 1 away to get 13, which 1 if we have fourths, is 4/4, and I'm adding it to my fraction. So 13 and 5/4 is the same as 14 and 1/4. And then I have minus 12 and 3/4. So 13 minus 12 is 1. 5 minus 3 is 2. And then I keep my fourths. And then we simplify. 1 and 2/4 is the same as 1 and 1/2. Okay? So, instead of a secret word, here is a secret problem that I want you to solve. So I'm going to write it down. You need to solve it, and you can show me on your way into class, the following class period. So we're going to do 5 minus 3 and 4 4/8. Actually, no. Sorry. We're going to change that to 4/7. Okay? 5 minus 3 and 4/7. Do that at the bottom of your paper, and then I'll be checking your answer on your way in. And don't forget to go on to NICU and do the 2-5 quiz, and I will see you tomorrow.